It came as a bolt from the blue. Chris Robertshaw has resigned as Minister for Policy and Reform, and with Liberal Vannin leader Kate Beecroft. What's been your initial reaction to this?
Well, absolute shock, as you said. It was a complete bolt out of the blue. I don't think anybody was expecting it. Yeah, just shock, and to be quite, I'm quite appalled with it. It's just beggars belief, really, the timing of this. You know, not so much the principle behind why he's done it, but his timing is just disgraceful.
Now, what he said is that he felt like he was banging his head against a brick wall and not getting anywhere. But he'd been in the post for less than a year.
Yeah.
Do you think that he ought to have stuck with it?
Well, that's entirely up for him. What I do know is that to do this in budget week and when the Chief Minister is not here, it's really quite appalling. It shows really to me that he hasn't got the best interests of the island and its people at heart to do something like this at this time. Why couldn't it? What was the urgency? What was the rush that he couldn't wait until the Chief Minister was back and that the budget debate hadn't been had and all the rest of it? Yeah, it's just shocking, shocking.
Do you think this undermines the Cabinet Office? This was created last year along with this new ministerial post, and Chris Robertshaw was brought in to bring a job that he says he's been unable to do.
Well, he's not Minister of the Cabinet Office, don't forget, because the Cabinet Office is not a department, and it's only a department that can have a minister. My understanding is that he's a minister without portfolio, but working within the Cabinet Office. In other words, that's where his desk is. And the Chief Minister asked him to take charge of policy and reform. But as far as I can make out, and I've questioned it several times, he doesn't actually have any legal status to implement anything. He just works within the Cabinet Office.
And he didn't appear to have the support that he needed. I mean, his nickname was the Enforcer, but he didn't have the backing, did he really, of his colleagues?
Well, how can you if you're enforcing things? MHKs are not there to have an enforcer make them do things. You know, this isn't the way it works. You have to bring people with you if you want to effect change, if you want to do things. And I say his reasoning for stepping down, it's not mine to question, it's the timing that I think is wrong.
That's what you have a problem with. He's done this in budget week.
The timing, absolutely the timing. And some of the comments that he's made, you know, such as, I think it was on your interview, that he said that government was dysfunctional. Well, I've always said that I believe the way government operates, things like collective responsibility, etc., need to change. MLCs need to change and all the rest of it. But he's virtually saying that this cabinet is dysfunctional. You know, this council of ministers, rather, not this cabinet, this council of ministers is dysfunctional. Well, he's played his part in that. You know, you can't just step back and go, oh, it's everybody else's fault but mine, so I'm going to spit my dummy out and go back to being a backbencher and think you're not going to take any responsibility for what you've done.